is a two-time UFC Featherweight champion, a UFC Hall of Famer, and according to many,
the GOAT?
He's Jose Aldo Jr., a seasoned veteran of the fight game, who has achieved everything there is to achieve in the realm of combat.
This is a guy that, from the WEC to the UFC, helped build the sport, this brand, and Brazil for us. So we love him and we always will. He's made a great life for himself.
Despite his legendary career that spans 2 decades, Aldo's desire for more is drawing him back to the cage once more. So before he enters the shark tank that is the UFC, let's see how he got here. Born in the bustling city of Manaus, Brazil in 1986, Jose Aldo's early years were defined by poverty and dreams of winning a football World Cup for his nation, though his priorities shifted when he encountered street fighters in his neighborhood. To protect himself from dudes on the mean streets of Manaus, Aldo turned to capoeira, and his interest in combat deepened upon discovering Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. At 17, he left his hometown for Rio de Janeiro, where he started his journey in the violent world of mixed martial arts. Aldo began his MMA career in the lower leagues, where he smashed fighters left, right, and center. One of his earliest victories came against Hudson Rocha by a doctor's stoppage. In his 5th professional fight, Aldo crushed his opponent's head with thunderous soccer kicks. With a professional record of 10 wins and 1 loss, Aldo joined World Extreme Cage Fighting in 2008, where he continued his smashing run in MMA with a dominant victory against Alexander Franca Nogueira. Next up, it was Cub Swanson's turn to bow down to the King of Rio, as the American was sent packing with a knee to the face in 8 seconds.
A shot at the champ, and right off the bat, it is over. Explosiveness right there. This kid is fearless out there.
After securing 5 consecutive wins in WEC, Aldo challenged Mike Brown for the featherweight title in 2009, where he used his signature speed and intensity to overwhelm Brown with sharp combinations before putting him away with ground and pound. In his first title defense, Aldo faced MMA veteran Uriah Faber, who tested the newly crowned champ to his limit, but the Brazilian still stayed a step ahead thanks to crunching leg kicks and point fighting.
His athletes, as well as everything else. Oh, good leg kick. Oh my.
Throws a shot, Aldo is just slightly out of range.
Right hand a lot, Joe.
Again with the... Again, see how Aldo is finding it. Beautiful leg kick.
Rounds 4 and 5 were tough for Aldo since he got a little tired, but he'd still done enough to secure a comfortable decision victory. Aldo's second title defense against Manny Gamburian was quite literally a cakewalk. The first round saw intense exchanges early, with Gamburian momentarily unsettling the champion. However, as soon as Aldo found his rhythm in the second half, he battered his opponent from pillar to post and finished him by ground and pound TKO. A month after defeating Gamburian, the WEC merged into the UFC, and Aldo was crowned as the UFC's featherweight champion. In his first year in the UFC, Aldo successfully defended his title twice against Mark Hominick and Kenny Florian. However, it was his third title defense at UFC 142 against Chad Mendes that truly showcased his potential. The early seconds of the fight were slow and steady as neither fighter wanted to pull the trigger first. The second half of the round was livelier as Mendes attempted takedowns while Aldo countered with powerful low kicks.
And that was stuffed. There's a powerful leg kick.
Chance to take Aldo down. Big uppercut.
In the dying moments of the first stanza, Mendes finally managed to grab a hold of the champ, but the move backfired when Aldo broke free and blasted the American with a flying knee to finish him like his favorite breakfast.
As reconnects him and he's free.
Oh! That's it. Trying to finish it. Aldo knocks out Chad Mendes and remains the UFC.
Next, Frankie Edgar stepped up to challenge Aldo's dominance in the division at UFC 156. The fight was fiercely competitive. Aldo controlled the first 2 rounds with devastating low kicks and precise jabs to keep Edgar at bay.
Timing the jab. And the precision of the kicks.
Tell
How to fight in Edgar.
Round 3 was pretty even as Edgar started to come into his own against an exhausted Aldo, who somehow managed to avoid significant damage.
As he avenged his early career loss to...
Oh, they don't make him any tougher than that. Good shot by Frankie. Opened it up.
In the later rounds, Edgar came back with strikes and takedowns. But the late surge wasn't enough to sway the judges, unfortunately, and Aldo won by a decision. Aldo faced the Korean Zombie at UFC 163, where he produced a clinical performance. In round 1, Aldo mixed striking and grappling to dominate. Round 2 again showed Aldo's clinical counter-striking and wrestling dominance. The champ maintained control in round 3 with another takedown. By the 4th round, Zombie had nothing left in his gas tank, which allowed Aldo to dismantle him with head kicks and ultimately secure a TKO victory due to a shoulder injury sustained by the Korean sensation. Aldo defended his UFC title for the 4th time against Ricardo Lamas before facing Chad Mendes once again. The American was better prepared this time around as he launched an aggressive assault on the champ, but Aldo was more than happy to exchange shots and he intensified his attack towards the end of round 1. Round 2 slowed down after a low blow from Mendes, but as soon as the fight resumed, Aldo took control with accurate striking and strong takedown defense. Mendes, being the world-class wrestler that he is, persistently went for takedowns but to no avail. In the later rounds, Mendes gained some momentum, but Aldo maintained control and secured a decision victory. By this point, Aldo had earned widespread recognition as the greatest featherweight of all time, with defeat being an alien word for him, until he met Conor McGregor. The Irishman's relentless trash talk leading up to their showdown at UFC 194 was mentally taxing for Aldo, who lost his composure and was knocked out in just 13 seconds. The rematch never happened because McGregor moved up to lightweight and then to boxing, but that devastating loss to McGregor marked the start of Aldo's decline, despite a subsequent victory over Frankie Edgar for the interim title at UFC 200. McGregor's reluctance to defend his belt led to him being stripped of the title, and Aldo was promoted to undisputed status. However, he lost the belt in his next fight to Max Holloway and suffered another defeat in their rematch. From being a dominant champion to experiencing 3 losses in 4 fights was a harsh reality for the once unbeatable legend. However, Aldo refused to give up and made a brief comeback, scoring back-to-back stoppage wins against Jeremy Stevens and Renato Moicano, which earned him a title eliminator against Alex Volkanovski. Aldo lost and decided to move down to Bantamweight, where his bad luck continued with back-to-back losses to Marlon Moraes and Peter Yan. With 3 losses on the bounce, MMA fans urged their hero to retire, but the Brazilian was adamant to prove his doubters wrong. And to do just that, he met Marlon Vera in a do-or-die fight in 2020. In round 1, we witnessed flashes of a prime Jose Aldo dominating his opponent with relentless body shots and leg kicks. Round 2 saw a more balanced exchange, with both fighters landing significant shots, especially Vera with his power punches. Recognizing Vera's late surge potential, Aldo strategically nullified his striking threat by taking the fight to the ground, which allowed him to secure a crucial decision victory. 8 months later, Aldo exhibited shades of his former self in a bout against Pedro Munoz. Munoz wasted no time asserting his presence with a spinning back kick and aggressive combinations. Despite Munoz's stalking style, Aldo countered with effective body shots, leading to a closely contested first round. In the second round, Aldo intensified his attack with punishing hooks to the body, displaying clinical offense and defense. Maintaining his momentum in round 3, Aldo continued to press forward, disrupting Munoz's offense and securing his second consecutive victory. Aldo's MMA career ended with a win against Rob Font, followed by a defeat against Merab Dvalishvili, after which he rode into the sunset and transitioned to boxing. The Brazilian won his debut exhibition match against Emmanuel Zambrano, but faced a draw against Jeremy Stevens in his first professional bout. Despite a victory in his second pro fight, Aldo's return to the UFC against Jonathan Martinez suggests boxing wasn't his true calling. The question is, will Jose Aldo reach the pinnacle once more? Share your thoughts, predictions, and opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell to stay in the loop on all things combat sports. Stay tuned, fight fans.